and we have a great guest. We're excited to talk to him, so let's just get right to it. Doesn't need a big introduction. Everybody knows what he's done over the years and knows who he is, and love that he was the head coach at the University of Texas for many years and won a national championship. On the phone with us is Coach Mack Brown. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Excited to talk to you.
Very excited.
And to talk about your podcast, The Stampede, that you're doing with Bob Ballou and with Vince Young. How great is it to work with Vince again?
We're having a blast. It was funny. Vince always talked about how tough I was on the guys, and I didn't smile much, and I didn't cut up a lot. And now we're having a blast. And he said, he's telling all the guys, you can't believe this guy. He's really got a personality. So I don't know that that's good or not, but we're really having fun. And Bob's a great host and true professional. And we're talking about college sports in general and all the craziness that's going on in college football and obviously the Longhorns and the excitement of the upcoming season.
How are you able, Coach, on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, to sit down and watch college football game and enjoy it as a fan? Or are you still X and O's and going, are you still coaching when you're watching?
I do both. I watch every college football game that I can. At home, I've got 3 TVs, and I figured out if you get the multi-view, I can watch 12 games at one time.
And break them all down.
Yeah, Trish, you would understand. Sally will not watch them with me. She will say, which one are you listening to?
Right.
Which one are you watching? Can you watch 12 games? And I said, I usually watch 4 or 5. So,
no,
but it is funny. Even when I was commentating with ABC and ESPN, you put your head coach's hat back on.
Mm-hmm.
So I love watching the games. I love watching kids compete and the coaches. And what they do. And I go back and say, if I was coaching again, would I do that? Or would I be more aggressive? Or would I go for that 4th down? Or what would I do differently without criticizing the coach? Just keeping my mind sharp because I love college football so much.
There's probably not an occupation that makes you say the what ifs and if I should have's more than coaching in college football. But hey, I want to ask you this, back to Vince Young, because I was watching clips of you guys and you sound great together and the stories are unbelievable. But what's it like when it's somebody you met when they were probably 17, 18 years old, and now all the decades later, you have a relationship with them as adults working together, and you probably have it with many, many former players. What is that like as a coach?
Well, that's what your legacy really is. It's about relationships. And when Coach Royal got Alzheimer's and he went into a home, I would go see him about twice a week. And he didn't remember that the stadium was named after him. He didn't remember he won 3 national championships. He didn't remember the Arkansas game for the national championship in Little Rock or in Fayetteville. But he remembered every ex-player's name that walked in the room.
Oh, that's
and
great.
It really took me back that it is about relationships. So even in recruiting, we started telling guys it's a 40-year decision. It's not 4.
Yeah.
And if you're coming here, then we're going to be in your life for the rest of your life. So do things right. Put yourself in a position where we're going to want to call boosters and help you get jobs when you get out. And we still have a great relationship with players for 36 years as a head coach and another 10, 20 as an assistant coach. So it's been really fun. We worried when we got out of coaching, would we keep those relationships? And we do. And just having the 20th anniversary of the national championship game, so many of those guys live back in Austin and they have functions, and we've been involved with them for the year. So it's been really fun.
Coach Mack Brown is our guest. You can listen to his podcast wherever you get your podcast. He has teamed up with CBS Austin's Bob Ballou and Vince Young. It's called The Stampede. They're doing a live taping of the podcast on Friday the 11th at Victory Lap. They're also going to be recording a podcast, the Ohio State podcast. So that's the night before the game. Ohio State is also going to be there with their former quarterback, Cardell Jones, and Beanie Wells. That podcast is called The Script, but you can go out and watch the live taping on the 11th at Victory Lap. Trish, I know you're dying to ask Coach a question.
I have a question for you, Coach. Not a football question. I figure these guys have those questions covered. So my question, I have two for you. First of all, do you have any dogs? And if you do, what are their names?
Well, we have two dogs.
Okay.
They're named River and Riggs, which gets a little confusing sometimes. You have to be really careful. It's like the Red River rivalry anymore with River and Riggs. But they're Australian doodles.
Oh, okay.
And they're one of them is River is really sweet and nice, wants to be petted all the time and lays on your feet. And Riggs is weird.
Just
He's
weird.
out chasing frogs and snakes, and he won't talk to you, he won't look at you, but he's just really strange. So we've got two very different dogs.
Dogs are the best, though. My other question for you is, you've been back in Austin for a little bit after North Carolina. So what is like the most Austin place or tradition that when you come back to Austin, when you're here, you're like, oh, I'm definitely in Austin? Like maybe something you missed when you were in North Carolina.
We go to Rosie's a lot. We live out at Spanish Oaks, and Rosie's is a Mexican restaurant that Coach Royal and Spike Dykes and Bill Little and the guys used to have a meeting out there every Monday. So we've missed our friends at Rosie's.
Nice.
I
Good
thought it was
Mexican
going to be
food.
Dirty's.
Dirty Mark.
Well, Dirty's is good too. I'm definitely a burger guy, so
All right.
that's I've had many good burgers at Dirty's.
Coach Brown is our guest. I have a quick question for you, Coach. You have coached many great athletes over the years. Can you tell us who you think was probably the most athletic athlete you ever coached?
Gosh, that's a hard one. And I usually go back to positions,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at Brian Arakpo might be the best pass rusher ever, and Derek Johnson's the greatest linebacker I've ever coached, and Roy Williams was a freak at wide receiver. And then you look at running backs, you go Jamal Charles, you go Ricky Williams, you go Cedric Benson. There's just a list of about 10 or 12 of those. And you go quarterback, Vince could not be tackled in the fourth quarter.
No.
He stayed healthy for the 3 years he played for us, and he got stronger in the fourth quarter, and he's just a freak as an athlete because he could have played safety, he could have played tight end, he could have played wide receiver. So he's one of those guys. And the national championship team had two Thorpe Award defensive backs on it, and the guys like Michael Griffin, Michael Huff, Cedric Griffin. I mean, it's just so many guys that are Quentin Jammer, Quandre Diggs. I mean, you just go through a list, and it's just there's so many of them. It'd be hard to say.
I got to ask you a media question because we could sit here and relive the national championship all day. Sandy and I were there. We hugged.
It's the only time, Coach, in 30 years of working with JB that he and I have hugged.
And they jumped up and down while hugging.
Yeah, do we have a picture?
Everybody didn't have cameras in their pocket back then. You lived in the moment, which was actually kind of cool, right?
Cool. Yes.
Here's what I'd love to know, because forever, especially as a head coach, you sit there and media lobs hardballs at you all day, and now you're on the other side of it. You're a media guy, is a podcast, not any different than what we're doing right here, right now. And you're breaking down and you're analyzing things and doing commentary.
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like flipping to the media side of things? And does it change your opinion of how it used to be when you were on the coaching side?
Yeah. JB, I wish that every coach could do media before they coached, because you'd be a better coach. Because when you're coaching, you think certain media guys are after you. They're always asking hard questions. They're always looking for something, which isn't true. What I found in the media is you've got to have a unique view, story, behind the scenes, something to get somebody to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not trying to get the coach fired. You're trying to give people information they can't get. And I saw the media people that the ones that are cute and sarcastic about the coach and take cheap shots don't get information.
Right.
But generally, if you're fair with the coach, he'll be fair with you. And the times coaches get in trouble is you're so disappointed in yourself or your team, or when you lose a game. And your whole life basically is put into winning this game, and you only have 12 that you play during the season. and you're just crushed and mad. You're trying to figure out what happened and going on. And then you walk in there and get quick questions.
Yeah.
And sometimes you give, and you have to be careful. I'm a smart aleck. I love cutting up with my friends and saying smart aleck things. And when you say it to the media, it sounds really awful, especially when it's in response to a tough question. And I'd get home and Sally'd say, "Did you really say that?" I said, "Well, I was cutting up." And she said, "Well, they missed that part."
Yeah. You know what
they
else?
Didn't get that. They didn't catch your joke.
Yeah.
So,
The other part of it,
that's the biggest thing.
The other part of it, doing media is, when you would do press conferences or what, it was all sound bites. You kind of are almost trained to do small sound bites, so they're not taken out of context. And now you have the freedom to tell the whole story. I think that's what makes the podcast so good. Even when you're telling stories from 20 years ago, it's uninterrupted, unfiltered. You get to tell the whole story. You didn't get to do that 20 years ago.
No, and it's Vince and I laugh. There's so many we can't tell, but we enjoy telling the ones we can. But I remember in talking to President Bush and Dan Bartlett, one of his PR guys, and when Twitter came, people would get sound bites before you'd even finish your comment, and there were some inaccurate things that would come out. And I always felt like that I should try to help the media do their job. We're there for a certain moment, so I should try to give the media sound bites because that's what they need. Mm-hmm. And I would try my best to give them information. So John Bianco and Bill Little would actually get on the internet and look at questions that people were asking, and they would give me 10 questions, and I would try to answer those questions for the media before we even started. But I learned from Dan Bartlett a lot of times, especially in the Twitter world, you're starting and you give sound bites, you give PCs, and since you can't tell the story, JB, like you said, they didn't understand where you were going. They didn't understand why you said it, and you didn't really have a finished product. So there was a lot of inaccurate information out there.
Coach Mack Brown.
And you're right. If you could just sit down and tell it, it makes it a lot better.
Coach Mack Brown is our guest. His podcast, along with Vince Young and Bob Ballou, is called The Stampede. And also you can catch a live taping of The Stampede Friday the 11th at Victory Lap. They're going to be there doing that. Coach, you started out this conversation with talking about the craziness of college football. And I can only conclude that that's in reference to the transfer portal, NIL, and just the massive change in college football over the last few years.
The entertainment aspect of a game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the in-game experience is great. But where are we with NIL? Where are we with transfer? I as a college football fan, I don't like seeing a kid transfer into his fifth school. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. Sandy, we made, in adults, we didn't pay college players for so many years when we should have. Mm-hmm. So 5 years ago, if we'd given them $150,000 when they graduate to get their life started as part of their scholarship, we wouldn't be sitting here today. Mm-hmm. And then adults made some very poor common sense decisions because we took NIL, unlike the NFL, and said, we're not going to be amateur anymore. We're not the NFL, but we really are paying players. And we're not paying them for play, but we really are, because the best players get the most money. And then we took transfer portal, and then you have tampering with money and transfer portal, and they all collided. And it's a real mess. So I am on the committee that the president put forward with Nick Saban and Urban Meyer and all the commissioners and Charlie Baker of the NCAA, trying to put some sense back into where we are with college sports moving forward. The bill has got a lot of really good things in it that you can only transfer one time like before, and then you have to lay out there's a cap on what an agent can pay. The agent has to be qualified before he can represent one of the high school or college players. There's some retention bonus in there that you get money to keep your players on your team, and more high school kids will be recruited if there's fewer in the portal and fewer transfers. So there's a lot of good things moving forward with with this bill. The bill didn't go before Congress like we thought it would in July. We're hoping it will go back before in September. But what has to happen is about 80% of it, everybody's agreed to. Then there's some things with realignment that are confusing. There's some things with media rights that are confusing. My point would be, let's take the 80% out that we need to help these kids and coaches in college sports right now, and let's figure out the realignment piece. Let's figure out the media rights piece later, but let's don't hold all the simple things that need to be fixed right now, trying to get the bigger picture.
Coach Mack Brown, you know what? I just want to thank you for doing this. You don't need to be doing this. You're retired. Everything's fine. And just for your love of college athletes, college football, to take this up, to be on a board and try to tackle and unwind this problem. Thank you for doing that. For the average college football fan, I think I can speak for all of them and say thank you for taking your time to do this, because you don't have to do it.
Well, thank you. I love the sport. I love the coaches that play it, coach it, and the kids that play it, and I love watching it. And it's been such a huge part of my life. And I'm not retired; I'm rewired.
Coach, are we going to beat Ohio State? Are we going to beat Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Texas will beat Ohio State in Austin. It's going to be 102 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough on the Buckeyes. When we beat Ohio State when I was coaching in Columbus, we beat them in the Fiesta Bowl. When they came to Austin, I was hoping it would be 150 degrees. It rained all day.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 67, and I thought, thank you, God. That really helps us get a great advantage over Ohio State coming to Austin. So may it be hot on September 12th.
Coach, thank you very much for the time. Friends, check out the podcast. It really is great. It's called The Stampede. It's with Vince Young and Bob Ballou from CBS Austin. And again, one more time, if you want to check out that live taping Friday the 11th at Victory Lap, you can go out there. They're also, before that, they're going to have the guys from Ohio State. They're doing their podcast too. Their podcast is called The Script. So anything else for Coach Brown before we let him go play golf?
Is that what you're going to go do, Coach? Play golf today?
I'm rewired.
That's right.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Sandy, JB, and Trish, and have a great day.
You too.